back to F1 23. We are live once again for some more races. Probably once again starting in F1 World. And then might jump on to some live lobbies. Not some live lobbies, some open lobbies. Maybe even check out career mode. I've not actually been in there at all on this year's game. So that could be the opportunity to get some first impressions. But for now, let's jump in once again to F1 World. We'll head over to Grand Prix, because that's where we had the best race the last time. We finished off at Silverstone on the last stream, so this time let's kick things off. How about we kick things off at Monza? Everyone loves Monza. And let's raise that tech difficulty even more. We'll go 50, so 482 is the recommended tech level. It's again session length medium. We'll add in qualifying this time so that we're not dead last that we were last time. Rules and flags, just to show you the settings. Let's double check that. Yep, that is all right. And here's the assists that we're running. So steering and braking assists off, anti-lock brakes on, because if not on a controller it's going to be very difficult to get that car stopped properly. No need for the racing line. Gearbox on automatics, I've just got the normal controller, so that'd be quite a lot of button presses to try and gear shift while braking and steering, etc. Pit assist on and pit release assist on, but ERS and DRS assist off. Let's go to qualifying for the Italian Grand Prix and Monza. Let's listen to what Alex Jakes has to say. If Alex Jakes is going to say anything. No, he's not. We'll only get that for the Grand Prix, it seems. So we are ready, of course, going with the soft tyres. Conditions, thankfully, dry. Here we go. One lap. That's all we've got. We're quickest through the first sector. Taking a bit of damage going over that curb, which is going to lose us some time. Could actually cost us the chance of pole position against these fast cars. And that definitely will. That's going to cost us a lot of positions. It's going to compromise our speed down the straight. Really silly mistake there going wide at Lesmo 2. We're a second down. I know I've went deep at Ascari, so I'm going to use a flashback because that would put us in last, which is what we're trying to avoid. Yeah, you can see the gap in the straight line speed with the faster cars. It's all going to be off the race start that it's going to come down to. If you can get turn 1 at Monza right, you can earn quite a lot of positions. It looks like we're going to come home P5 in qualifying here. Yes, P5. I mean, I'd rather not crash into the trees.
On
like what was suggested. 2.1 seconds down, that's not a good lap whatsoever. The race start's going to be so crucial as we go into the Grand Prix Sunday. You can't even crash into the trees. They're behind the crash barrier. Shut up, Thomas. Oh, it's raining. Oh, this is going to make it even more interesting. Once again, we have a wet race.
This is F1 World.
So P5 on the full wet tyres. Thunderstorm scheduled for halfway through the race. No pit stops. It's faster by 12 seconds. This is going to be one heck of a race. Here we go for the formation lap.
Okay, so everything looks good on the power unit cycles, so let's concentrate on bringing tyres and brakes up to temperature.
So the race start becoming even more crucial in these conditions. Rain is known as the great equaliser in Formula 1. Rain being the great equaliser could mean that despite having the slower car and starting in 5th place, we have the chance of doing something special.
Like it's going to be getting much lighter over the next 10 to 15 minutes. There should be more grip, but don't expect a dry track yet. Okay, full wet seems to be the fastest tyre for now.
That's good news as well from Mark on the weather report that it is going to get drier. So it was our strategic masterclass a couple of nights ago at the British Grand Prix that won us the race. We switched to inters at just the right time and completely outpaced the faster cars in front. Can we do it again here in Monza? All about just jumping at the right time. Went through the Ascari chicane, finding that braking point when we're at full race speed is going to be crucial, because if not you will just sail into the gravel in this rain. It's going down so hard for the start of the race. Right to come through the final corner of the Parabolica. Actually got a new corner. I can't remember its new. A new name, sorry. I can't remember what that is. Here we go. Time to line up on the grid. We're on the left-hand side, so we have the racing line. Or turn 1.
Parking there, mate. Let's make sure we get the edge on the surrounding drivers as the lights go out.
Here we go, waiting on the last cars to form up at the back of the grid.
The start sequence will begin as soon as the grid is formed. Be ready with the clutch.
We're going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go for the Italian Grand Prix. A bit of wheel spin, which isn't great, but in the second phase, we've got better acceleration than the car in front. Oh, we nearly lose it. That's not the start we were looking for. I think we've went too deep. We have went too deep. Oh my, the game doesn't like flashbacks in the rain. So we actually hold position off the line. Would have liked to have got higher up, but we'll take a position hold as well. It's just crucial that we stay in touch with this lead pack, not let a gap form. because if we let too much of a gap form, that could be our chances of a podium or even a race win completely lost. The gap hovering at about a second, but we're using overtake mode to close in, close in, close in. Probably a bit too far back to have a look into Ascari, especially in the wet. But we can close up once again as we approach the Parabolica.
That's a decent start. Good job.
We are going to get the move done as we cross the line to end the first lap. So it's P3 that's in our sights next. And we actually get it done. We just outbraked ourselves, but
Nice
managed to find the gap. And that is P3 on the road as we enter into lap 2. It was a risky pass, to say the least. It wasn't one that I was aiming for. I was just hoping to close up. But we made it work. And we're up into the podium places. Which, to be honest, if you told me with the huge difference in car between myself and the other drivers currently running in the podium point, I would have taken third at the start of the race. But we are gaining on second. It looks to be there for the taking. We have the pace in the wet, as we showed in Britain a couple of nights ago. Careful not to take too much throttle with a bit of a slide there through the Parabolica. 1:34.7 from us, so not too far down on the fastest lap. Oh, that wasn't very good. Far too much throttle there. As we exited the Primo Variante chicane. Into Curva Grande now. Once again, closing, 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 closing. Are we close enough to have a look? A bit too close. Whoa! Frame rate tanked and we had a massive tank slapper. Going wheel to wheel into the Lesmos, this will be interesting. We've ran a bit too wide on the outside, so we're going to have to seed P2.
Okay to use your overtake button.
But we will just attempt to come back. We've lost a lot of time to the race leader in this battle for second. We're about 6 seconds behind the race leader now. We might actually be close enough to think about a move into the Parabolica. Oh, that we touched. There's contact. He just cut across as they left us absolutely no racing room. Thankfully no damage to our car. And we managed to take second place. It was very risky driving from the car in second place.
Laps in a row. Beautiful stuff. Keep it going.
Now we hunt the race leader. 6.5 seconds to close.
Forecasts suggest the rain's going to be lightening up over the next 10 to 15 minutes or so. We should start finding more grip as we clear the standing water.
You told me that during the formation lap, Mark, and there's been no change to the conditions. A bit of that slide there's cost us time through the Lesmos, and now there's 2 cars behind hunting for our second place. We need to use overtake mode to try and hold on to the position. Onto the brakes through Parabolica. Keep my tight line. Get as much speed as possible through the exit. Click an overtake mode on as we came through the corner. We did close up to the race leader, but then I lost a lot of time through the first chicane. But what we have done is gained a lot of time against the cars behind, as they're also now squabbling over the final podium place, which is letting us pull away a little bit. And we did see this in Britain, though. We weren't the fastest on the full wets. It was when we moved to the intermediates that we started finding really, really good pace. So all we need to do is keep relatively in touch. 7.5 seconds is a big gap, but it isn't unassailable.
No need to worry about the tyre condition for now. Everything's looking good. Virtual safety car.
Virtual safety car deployed.
Reduce speed immediately and keep
I
a
don't know
positive
what's
delta.
happened further back in the pack.
Slow down. Your delta's negative, which means you're going too fast. Reduce your pace.
But the virtual safety car has been deployed, unless it's because of the rain. That is a possibility in this year's game, that you can have a virtual safety car, a full safety car, or even a red flag due to the conditions.
Okay, it looks like the problem's terminal. They're retiring the car.
Red flag, red flag. Now this is going to spice up the race, because it means we're going back to the grid.
Track resulting in loose debris. Fortunately, the marshals have managed to clear it up in time, and there are so far no plans for a safety car.
The rain was so bad that race control have red flagged the session.
So let's think very carefully about our strategy for the rest of this race.
Now, as you can see, the restart is on the intermediates. We've had our run on the wets up to the red flag. Now we get to bolt on fresh intermediate tyres. It's essentially a free pit stop, but it is also a free pit stop for the entire grid. So we can't pull off the strategic masterclass as we did the last time. It's going to be pure pace. Let's go back to the grid. Let's go back to the 5 red lights. Here we go, we're in P2. This start's going to be crucial. It's lights out and away we go for the Italian Grand Prix for the second time today. The race leader cuts across the defend, but we're going to get past before we even reach the Primo Variante. There's going to be a car looking up our inside. No, they're not. They're holding back. And we've taken the race lead off the restart from the red flag. You can see how much lighter the rain is compared to when that red flag was deployed. It's massively helped us out, eliminating the race leaders' gap to us. We've formed back on the grid and we've taken first. The car who was in first has actually now dropped down into 3rd position. So they had a really poor start off the restart. They're back up into second now. They're wheel to wheel. Hopefully a bit of squabbling behind is going to let us build up a little bit of a gap. Again, these cars are faster than ours. It's just about doing consistent lap times and defending as well as we can now. Use an overtake where possible. There's going to be no DRS to worry about. Car's just going to sit behind. They're probably going to have a look at us on the main straight. Unless we go deep into the parabolic. Oh, there's contact. Contact in the parabolic. A slid on the wet track, to be honest. How much traction do we have? Can we hold them behind?
Hey, well done on keeping it nice and clean out there. Good stuff. You know what they say?
They're gaining, they're gaining, they're gaining. It's all going to be on the brakes. Oh, we've outbraked ourselves massively. Completely outbraked ourselves. Let's try that again.
Underbody's taken a...
Let's maybe not do that. I didn't mean to take them out of the race. I need to remember that I'm on the outside and so can't carry as much speed. It helps if they don't just, you know, cut across me though. That would be nice. Let's try this one more time and then I might just accept what happens. Yep, we're going to need to go... Oh, I didn't switch off overtake mode. That's why I was so fast. Overtake mode off. Let's actually try and, you know, get this car slowed down. Stop cutting across! Why do they keep cutting across? Every single time.
Safety car. No overtaking. Reduce your pace. Keep your delta number...
I'm actually about to give up. I don't know what I've done to deserve this. What was I meant to do there? Like, what? Right. There we go. We've got it slowed down. We're in P4, so we've lost 3 positions. I didn't even touch that car. I didn't even touch the car. Well, you know, there goes our chance of the race win, I think. I don't think we're catching them again. We'll fight for the podium places.
Fantastic. 2 cars at once. Really well done.
I know this makes me look like an absolute amateur. We had a much better race on Saturday. Alright, well the game's decided that's legal, so we're just going to keep going. Let's go. We got past them once, we can get past them again. Focus.
10 minutes left of this rain, then we think it's going to dry up. 10 minutes. Inters seem to be the fastest tyre for now.
You know, listen to that timeline. There's 10 laps to go, so we might actually make it to dry conditions, which would be interesting. You can't push me that far. That's just... I mean, that defensive move the first time was simply illegal. You can't just push somebody off of the track. Right, so we're back up into second. I can assure you that on the next race it'll be much cleaner, much better, much more interesting to watch. Hopefully it won't be in the wet. And we'll be able to see what we can do in the dry. Finally, a personal best sector. We're actually improving. Sadly not improving enough, because we're now 5.5 seconds behind the race leader, despite having the race lead 3 laps ago. But we will see what happens, we'll see what sort of lap times we can extract. What would play in our favour is one more safety car. Because this rain is stopping.
Okay, I think we're still the right tyres for the time being.
Fastest sector 1 of anybody so far. We are finding pace as well. Where we've lost most of our time today has been through these 2 Lesmo corners. They're so tricky, sometimes even in the dry, never mind in the wet. But we are going once again. We've lost 6/10 to the car in front through the Lesmos. Bit of a slide through Ascari, that's going to cost us some time. But we're actually faster up the straight. Just keep a wheel on the track to avoid getting penalised for exceeding track limits. So 1:32.1, we found a second against our own fastest lap on that last tour of the circuit. Carried a lot more speed through Lesmo 1 than before, and we've not actually lost any time. The gap stayed steady to the car in front. Lost a bit of time as we slid there through Lesmo 2, but not as much as we lost on the last tour. We are getting quicker through that section, so much so that we've actually went purple, fastest of anyone through that mid. to disconnect with... It sure was nice the controller to disconnect without any warning. We've got a new controller, and we're back in the race. The race leaders just went and posted the fastest lap, and we are only a few tenths slower.
Please keep it clean. It looks like the weather's going to dry up in about 5 minutes' time. Inters look like the best tyre for now.
This is going to be tight to see if we're going to go to slicks. It might be a race finish on the intermediate tyre on a dry track. I think we can kiss goodbye to the race win unless the safety car gets deployed. I don't think we're closing this gap. We're just not finding the lap time. But I think given the difference in tech level and the issues that we had on that lap where we just couldn't get that one corner correct. Apart from that, we've had a pretty decent race. We're 5 seconds clear of the car behind, but we're 8 seconds behind the car in front. It's become a pretty lonely race here. He's just went and posted another fastest lap. We just can't compete, really. And we go and make stupid mistakes like that and lose another second. The pace from the car in front has just been relentless. That 14 of 19 here.
Okay, looks like some of those puddles are clearing. We're still definitely on the right tyre for the time being, but we're probably not a
Make
million miles
another
away
mistake,
from
drop
slick
another
conditions.
second. It's just not been a good race for us. Yes, we're up 3 positions from where we started on the grid. Can't really complain at P2. Would it have been much better to get a race win? Yes, it would have.
Use your overtake button more. It's time to utilise some of this energy. Come on. We think this rain should stop sometime in the next few laps. So watch those lap times. We may have to pit for dries at very short notice. Inters seem to be the fastest tyre for now.
Yeah, Mark, the problem is we've only got 4 laps to go. Well, 5 laps to go. So even if the rain does stop, if we pit and nobody else does, we're just going to lose so much track position. I don't think it's going to be worth it. The rain's still coming down. It all depends on how quickly it can dry. We've actually went and gone purple through Sector 1. So our saving grace might be if we can nab that fastest lap. Finally a decent run through the second Lesmo. It's a purple sector too, so we are finding lap time. Let's see what we can do in sector 3. That slide is, and that's a spin. to the line now. A 1:30.5. It's a very good lap, to be fair. But too little, too late. Absolutely the case of too little, too late. We have managed to nab the fastest lap, however. So that'll be an extra point if the points matter. They don't really matter in F1 World. Turns out we actually lost the cars through the red flag period. Because we've only got 19 runners. So the rain has stopped. At the end of this lap, there's going to be 3 laps to go. How quickly will the track dry? That is the question.
Okay, that's us with 5 laps of fuel remaining. 5 laps of fuel left. Conditions look stable at the moment. No rain currently expected. We're not certain which is the best tyre right now, dries or inters.
Is it worth risking? DRS enabled? No. This could be interesting. DRS enabled is usually the sign to pit for dries. Let's see what the race leader does. If they pit for dries, I'm going to stay out.
DRS has been enabled. DRS is now enabled.
And I know that sounds strange, but if they pit for dries, they're taking the risk in giving up the track position. If we stay out on inters and just defend, then we could take the race win. But it's all down to whether or not they box. If they don't box, then the race is gone, and they haven't boxed. And they've went a second quicker than our fastest lap. Because of course they can. Of course they did. So by staying out on the inters, these are going to get very hot, especially on a dry track. So that will be the risk that we're running.
Okay, we've got 4 laps of fuel remaining.
We're soundly beaten in this race. I'm not even chasing the race win anymore. We'll see if we can try and steal back that fastest lap. Oh, he's just went even faster. Because of course he has. And we go into the gravel, because of course we do.
Final lap, push.
I mean, I'll let you guys decide whether or not this has been a good race for us. I'm inclined to say that it wasn't that great. We could have absolutely fought for the win had we not ballsed up those couple of corners. That completely cost us the race victory. If we could hold the lead, then we'd have been fine. It would all just been about defence, and albeit Monza's a circuit that you can very easily overtake in on that main straight. We could easily have fought back and just kept in touching distance, especially when DRS was re-enabled. But we are going to come home to take second place. And given that we started 5th, I think that's a fair enough result. Probably about where we expected. A 1:26.6, I just can't compete with that. So a deserving race victory. And we come across the line for P2. Taking a fair amount of XP away from the race, thanks to that tech level boost.
Well, I don't know if you're a fan of a spicy narrative, but I feel that that race today has set some events in motion. Join us next time for some more F1 World action.
So that's glitched, because we certainly didn't finish 5th. We finished 2nd. I'm not entirely sure what's happened there. Yep. That is completely glitched because it also says that the red flag came out on lap 1, which again, it didn't. I don't quite know what's going on here, to be honest with you. Because there's the red flag. And there's the restart lap. Who knows? We know we finished 2nd. We've got video proof that we finished 2nd. In fact, yeah, let's load up the replay. Skip to end. Lap 19, coming up to the line. We're in P2. Still in P2. And then the game just goes, no, P5. Because that makes sense. Either way, a 2nd place finish in Monza for us. And that's what we're noting it down as. We finished 2nd. And hopefully the rewards reflect the fact that we finished 2nd. Let's go see what we got in the garage. New brakes, a new sponsor, and contracts. Let's have a look at these new brakes. They are much better. Although they do come with plus 13 drag reduction. I think we need to boost the car. But these are bugged as well, and we can't even boost them. Let's just keep them on just now. It was only worth 2 points at tech level. Maybe we'll get some better brakes later on. Our team principal's out of contract. Should probably give him one of those. There we go. That's that sorted. Dismantle that and take the money. We've got some stickers in the compendium to put into our book. Part 2 from Singapore, which I think I already have. No, I don't. Okay, place that in. That's that done. And we have the final supercar token. We can unlock the Ferrari Roma. We have unlocked all of the supercars in the game. So where shall we go next? How about a race around? Let's go to Spa. Spa-Francorchamps. What we'll do is we'll probably drop this a little, because we were thoroughly outclassed by the other cars. We'll drop it to 35. Do we leave the weather on dynamic, or do we set it to dry? Let's leave it on dynamic. And let's do a second race. We're going to have a sprint race, which will affect where we line up for the main race. We'll be going to qualifying in just a moment. Let's go to qualifying around the circuit Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. Oh, I've absolutely hit the brakes too early into La Sauce. But I think we've got away with it. Yeah, we have. We're actually leading as we go through Eau Rouge and up Radio, and that's not really the correct line. But again, managed to get away with it. Purple Sector 1, jam on the brakes at the end of the straight. Going through Masseny, I'm sure this corner's called, and up toward the corner with no name, before making our way down towards Pouhon, running down the hill. Lightly tap the brakes as you go in, and then it's flat out for the rest of the corner. Take a bit of curb on exit. Coming into the S's. And it's a purple sector 2 as we begin the run down toward Blanchimont and the bus stop chicane. Not an ideal line, but we do have a bit of a gap to the car behind. Jam on the brakes for the bus stop. It's all about getting the traction on exit. It's crucial, and that is going to be pole position.
Okay, good job, mate. Really, really well done. That was a fantastic drive. Bring it home.
It's about the perfect lap we could ask for. Pole position for the sprint race by 1.3 seconds. They were a lot closer as we came through the bus stop. It was just all on the traction. Five laps in the sprint. And then 15 laps of Spa for the main race. let's go. So remember that this sprint race is what's going to set the grid for the main Grand Prix that's still to come. Here we go for the formation lap. Cars behind all going for the mediums. We've went for the softs.
So go into each one when you can. We're going to need some work on the brakes, so put some energy into them and warm the tyres as well, please.
They might be thinking more about strategy for the Grand Prix, keeping a set of softs. But for us, because we are in the slower car, I feel that the traction is much more necessary. And so the softs are the tyre for us. And thankfully, we didn't need to change the settings. The game has decided to bless us with dry running all weekend. No mandatory pit stop in the sprint. Unlike in the main Grand Prix, which we'll have after these 5 laps.
No rain expected for the time being.
Wonderful news, no rain expected. Some heat into the tyres. Ooh, cool on. Just coasting it nice and easy on the formation lap, no need to push. You don't want to get to the grid too much quicker than the rest of the field, because then you'll just sit there and your tyres will cool down. Just test the acceleration a little bit, all seems to be good. Ease off, let the rest of the field close back in. They're now closing up behind. Oh, I looked down to see if any messages had come into chat and got distracted. Right, time to reform the grid. Roll into the grid spot. 0.1 meters from the ideal parking space. There we go. Perfect.
Okay, so that's the rest of the grid forming.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go. We are on the soft tyre, which does provide more grip off of the line, so it's kind of expected that we take as good a launch up the hill and onto Kemmel Straight. Naturally going purple through the first sector because we are the only car, well, they are the first car to pass through the first sector. We built a bit of a gap to third place, but the car in second is just hanging on to the back of us. Little wide group on. But let's just keep the power down. Spa isn't the easiest track to overtake on. It's all about picking your moments, so we might be able to defend. We've broken the DRS, which is crucial. Through the bus stop and up toward the line. of course it is the fastest lap because it's the very first lap. The race leader always sets the fastest lap on lap 1. Through Eau Rouge, up Raidillon and on to the Kemmel Straight, or the second tour of the circuit. Again, naturally a purple sector 1, because we weren't starting from a stop, we had a nice run, so much more speed through that first corner. And it's from now that looking into things like purple sectors actually matter. We go green through sector 2, which means we're up on our personal best lap, but it wasn't the fastest of anybody. Red, obviously meaning that we are down on our personal best. And that's overall, that's not per sector. And there we go, so 148.8. DRS now available to the cars behind, or when you are within 1 second of any car in front of you. So if we do manage to somehow lap some cars in the Grand Prix, then we will be able to use DRS to do that. We'll obviously also have the assistance of the blue flags. Lap 3 of 5 of the sprint. Which is a third of the distance of the main Grand Prix. Ooh, very close to the wall there. Maybe want to take a bit less speed through that corner on future laps. Don't want to take that risk unnecessarily. And begin the run to the line. It's going to be close.
Okay, well done.
We've gained so much time in that final sector that we actually still post the fastest lap of the race. We have checked out at the front. It's nice to not be under the same pressure as we were in the race before. So as you can see, we do have the pace. We can drive. It was just a bad race at Monza. Purple through sector 1. There is time to be found in this track, in this car, because the last two, well, the fastest lap that we just set there, we went red through sectors 1 and 2. So we weren't improving through either of those two sectors. I don't think we're going to be improving after this run through sector 2. It's been quite messy. Yep, there's the red light coming on. Again, a bit deep into that corner. Really need to sort that out for the Grand Prix. That could mess us up, especially if we do it in the opening couple of laps. Coming up now to the line to start the final lap of the sprint.
Final lap, let's go, final lap.
Up the hill and onto the Kemmel Straight. How worn are these tyres? Okay, they are not going to be any use in the Grand Prix. Thankfully, we do have free tyre choice, but it might be us that needs to start on the on the mediums for the main Grand Prix, whereas the other cars will have the choice of the softs that they didn't use in the sprint. So I think our strategy is probably going to be medium to hard, unless we have one more set of new softs, in which case I'll likely set up to go medium soft and have the pace at the end of the race on the softer tyres, on the grippier tyres, on the faster tyres. But we will see what Mark and his team come up with when we get to the screen for the Grand Prix. But for now, let's come through Blanchimont for the final time in this sprint race. Up to the bus stop. The checkered flag is out. And we are going to win the sprint race in Belgium.
Yes, mate, we got the win and you did it cleanly. Incredible.
And we take driver of the sprint. Can't really complain at that. Another 575 podium pass XP. We'll definitely make it to level 32 at the end of the sprint.
Joyous contest out there on the racetrack. We'll see these drivers back again. Hope you can join us next time for more F1 World action.
No points for fastest lap in the sprint. Let's go to the Grand Prix. "15 laps of Belgium coming up.
Hello there. Welcome to F1 World. We have a great contest ahead.
And if we do manage to lead every lap and take the fastest lap of this race, we'll do a Grand Slam. Although there was no practice sessions,
Today we go racing through the Ardennes forest. 4.3 miles of long straights, fast corners, and huge elevation changes. The Turn 1 hairpin at La Source is straight into Eau Rouge, eventually climbing into Raidillon. It is an opening salvo like no other. So final moments down there on the grid. Drivers will be mindful of how to get through Eau Rouge and Raidillon without ceding track position, without leaving them vulnerable onto the straight. And joining us for this one, Anthony Davidson, and their 25th appearance of the season. How does the driver's experience change?
I mean, you said it was our 25th appearance of the season before we went to Silverstone, but still. Edit strategy. So those softs are not new. I think we scrubbed them in during qualifying. let's set that to soft and set this to medium. Obviously need to go deeper. There we are. That's lap 9, so 6 laps on the soft. We'll go for the 5 laps on the soft, same as the sprint. Especially considering they are slightly used. Overfuel the car, as I mentioned the last time. I can't maintain fuel for anything. So we have our race strategy. We're starting on the medium tyre. Let's go to the formation lap. And as expected, all other cars are on the soft.
Okay, so let's go through all the gears if you can. We need to make sure the
So
engagement is
we
okay
could be at a
before the
bit of
start.
risk
We're gonna
off
want
the
to
race
put some temperature
start,
into the tyres and
depending
brakes.
on
We need to
how
keep the
much
engine cool
traction
though,
we
so
manage
don't
to
go too
get.
high with the revs.
Getting ready to form up as we make our way through the middle sector.
No threat of rain for the time being. Conditions look good.
No threat of rain, which is encouraging to hear. I'd rather have a dry Grand Prix. We seem to be much better in the dry. So our goal is going to have to be not to get too bogged down on the start, especially on the slower tyre, the slower, less grippy tyre. As we come up to the bus stop now, let's get ready to reform the grid. We know exactly where we're parking because we've done it in the sprint. Couple of burnouts just to warm the tyres up that little bit more.
Okay, that's not an...
That my tyres were still rolling. There we go.
Superb parking
Much
there, mate.
better.
Let's make sure we get the edge on the surrounding drivers as the lights go out.
So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And it is lights out and away we go. And we've managed to not get bogged down, despite jumping on the throttle a little bit quickly, I will admit. We have went wide. Going to rejoin as late as possible, get as much speed up before we recross that curb. So at the top of this hill we're going to be under the most threat with the slipstream and the faster tyres to contend with. We're just not going to quite have enough straight. But there are a few overtaking opportunities through the lap that we're going to need to be aware of. This being one of them as we come through the hairpin. Managed to hold the inside line into the corner with no name. Begin the run down to Blanchimont. Not Blanchimont, sorry, Pouhon. Through Pouhon. Gap 6/10, we actually gained a bit of time through Pouhon into the S's. I don't know how well it comes across on the screen, but you can actually feel the difference in the grip between the soft tyres that we had on in the sprint and these mediums on a full tank of fuel. But we just got the better traction. The gap is up to a second through the tight and twisty section there.
Let's use overtake and burn off some of this energy.
I think we've managed to weather the storm. Using as much track as the game will let us just to carry as much speed onto this straight. Big slide there, managed to catch it. Took a bit too much curb, got a little greedy on the throttle. We just need to try and keep it tidy. We lost about a second through that mistake. Thankfully this car seems to come alive through the middle sector, but we have went deep into the S's. Going to hold the outside line for them both, rather than having to slow down more to cut back into the inside. Naturally not setting a purple middle sector. See what we can do in the final sector to try and regain bits of that lead that we lost. We are of course going for the overcut, which means we'll be pitting later than everyone behind us, because where they're on the softs they're going to need to pit earlier because their tyres will go off quicker. We're on the mediums, our tyres can go deeper into the race. Before they start dropping off the cliff. So it's all going to be down to the important middle section of this race. That's going to decide where we finish. We are having a much better middle sector so far than on that last lap. So the alternate strategy might actually pay us dividends, because had we started on those worn softs, we were going to have to come in probably a lap earlier than the guys behind. It's purple through sector 2 as well. This could be a very good lap. That being said, our fastest lap isn't very good. It's a 1:51.4. Those lap times should begin falling quite drastically at the end. That's a 1:48.3 from us there. Not purple through the final sector, but doesn't really matter. We gained nearly 3 seconds of lap time versus our previous fastest, all because we didn't mess up the top of this hill and also the S's. A little bit of a slide, but we managed to hold on to it. Bit wide through Poulon, but it's okay. Kept it flat, kept it pinned. Didn't go so deep that we began running over the bumps.
You're in first position, front of the pack. Okay, so the gap to the car behind is 9.1 seconds. Okay, they're on old softs. And that's 6 laps until your pit window's open. Okay, 12 laps to go.
Not entirely sure when the cars behind will begin to box. It's probably going to be from about lap 5 or 6, I would guess. And then they'll be joining us on most likely the medium tyre if they have another new set. If not, some might opt for the hard. If we were to box now, we'd come out 10th, so we need to start building more of that gap. Try and become a bit more comfortable, because you never know what might happen. Could get a puncture or anything, we need to pit early. Just chaining the laps together, corner after corner. We don't need to be going purple every single time, we just need to keep it consistent. The lap times around the 148s, 149s.
Well done on keeping it nice and clean out there. Good stuff. You know what they say? Consistency's half the battle, isn't it? Okay, listen, don't worry about it, mate. It can happen to the best of us. Now look, I've put a new strategy option for you.
What for?
So
Why
go and have a look.
Why are you giving me a new strategy option?
Copy
The current
that.
strategy's fine. I don't know why they possibly want me to come in early, but the car's fine. I've got no damage. I've not touched the wall. My lap times are pretty decent. I think I'm still going to pit end lap 9 for this soft, start lap 10. Then we probably will wrap up for the day after that. So we've been live for about an hour and a half. 6 clean laps. I'm expecting to see cars begin to come into the pits. Those soft tyres should be beginning to come to the end of their life. Keep an eye on the timing tower. We'll see if people go in. Nope, most, if not all, cars are staying out. I don't know how long they're wanting to run on those softs. We've increased our pit gap to 6th now. Managed to catch that slide before it got any worse, which is always good.
We've got a lot of spare energy. Okay to use your overtake button.
Copy that. Let's use overtake in the run through Blanchard. Through the chicane.
We're going to box this lap and push hard on the in-lap.
No, Mark, we're not going to box this lap. We're going to box next lap. Going up the hill now. Cars are beginning to come into the pits. Car running second has now went in.
You're going to start losing some tyre grip anytime now.
And has bolted on the hards. That is a big decision. To go for the hard tyre. Rather than the medium. Perhaps they only had one set of mediums and they burnt them in the sprint. Time will tell if that decision is going to cost them. And if so, how much? It's already cost them one position, as we've just seen on the time. They're out. They've retired. Let's see if we can find out what happened. 3, P4, P5? An engine blowout. Engine go bang. And as such, they've had to retire from the race. Let's pay attention. If the safety car is deployed, we'll dive in for softs then. If not, we will do one more lap. They don't look to be getting a safety car. I think they're going to clear the track under waved yellow flags. The car was stopped just by a marshalling post, which is positive for things like that. So, turns out no need for a virtual or a full safety car. We keep racing. And we are going to box this lap.
Caution, caution. Okay, be aware there's an incident in the next part of the track. No overtaking through the yellow flags. Green flag.
we are seeing differing strategies starting to appear. Some cars on the mediums, some cars on the hards. It's going to be interesting to see how their race pans out with those differences. Here we go, coming up to Blanchimont, and then we will dive in the pits instead of taking the left-hand section of the bus stop. The pit entry here is tight, so we're going to need to be careful not to tap the wall. And we're in the box. Very smooth stop from the pit crew.
Faster than we were expecting. Up to speed now. Let's get some heat into those tyres.
We'll rejoin the track. And thanks to one of the power-ups that our car is equipped with, we actually get bonus engine power after pitting. Car will be faster for the next 60 seconds on the outlap. As you can see, the track is now clear of that parked car. That extra power has now ended. So we're on much lower fuel loads, the faster tyre, to see what sort of lap time we can extract on our next run. Through La Source and beginning the run down to Eau Rouge. Eau Rouge being this really quick left-hander, so Eau Rouge and then straight into Raidillon up the hill onto the Kennel Straight. In overtake mode going all the time, all the way across. Clicking it off just before the braking point, and that is a purple sector 1. Target lap time is definitely in the 47s, perhaps even a high 46, looking at 46.8, 46.9, if we can manage it. Through the S's and on the brakes. It's a purple sector 2. How much purple? Don't know yet. We'll find out when we cross the line. So fastest lap currently is a 1:48.3. That's what we're aiming to be. It's a 1:46.6. 1.6 seconds faster than our previous best. As I say, I was hoping for a high 46s, but a mid 46 is amazing. What a lap. What a lap. I want to try and recharge the battery a bit so that we've got the chance to go for one more push lap at the end. So I'm not going to use overtake mode. Bit of a slide, but it's okay, we got away with it.
Got enough fuel for 3 more laps.
3 laps to go. Might actually need to watch our fuel a little bit here. So our target plus 0.7. When we set off we were target plus 1 in terms of fuel, so we'll burn up some of that extra. Well, toward the end of lap 13 of 15 here. Still just putting some charge into that battery for one last push lap at the end of the race. Although the tyres are beginning to get a bit worn. We're on to the penultimate lap now. This will be our last recharge lap, and then we're just going to leave it all on the circuit for the final lap. And hopefully, you know, the game will actually credit us with this race win rather than just putting us in 5th randomly.
We've only got 2 laps of fuel left.
We're going to be alright for fuel, I think. We're plus 0.69. So here we go. One last push for one more fastest lap. Can we do it? Bus stop chicane. Onto the start finish straight, overtake mode on, here we go.
Okay, this is your final lap of the race.
Into Lassos. Begin the run down toward Eau Rouge and then up Raidillon. Here we go. Eau Rouge, Raidillon, Kemmel Straight. Past the DRS markers, we don't need to worry about that. We're far too far ahead to even have to worry about the DRS. Let's see what the split is like. It's a purple sector 1. Went a little deep, so we'll just do that corner again, mainly because we are purple. No, I've done the same thing twice. Take as much speed as possible through the corners, into the corner with no name. We've been a bit deep, but it's alright, we can try and recover it. We activate overtake mode on the run down to Pula. What's the gap like through Sector 2? It's red, but we don't know by how much. This might be recoverable. We've actually got a flashing fuel light. It's alright, we're going to make it to the line. Pushing with all we've got, overtake mode. Every single bit of it. We've actually run out of ERS power. Get a bit of charge through the bus stop, switch it on. Couldn't quite make that fastest lap happen at the end.
That's what I'm talking about. We're all buzzing here on the pit wall. That was super clean and we got the win.
But that is P1. P1.
A nearly flawless performance here then. And a show-stopping performance from the 3 drivers.
Let's see how much XP we're taking home. About 1,000. 1,050. There we go. And that is us now tier 32 on the podium class.
We have seen thrills, we have seen spills, and we have once again seen a brilliant winner. Join us later in the year for more action throughout this season when we see the return of F1 World.
That rounds up that Grand Prix weekend. Let's see what we get in terms of rewards, and then we'll wrap up from there. We'll also see what our podium pass rewards are for hitting tier 32. It's 500 insight and a race suit. Jazzy race suits, it's called. Next here we get 10 legendary upgrades. Hopefully they'll be quite good. We'll go to the compendium first. Put our stickers in and see if we complete any pages, because completing pages comes with rewards. Not quite this time, but that's alright. That's alright. To the garage. new brakes, a new R&D head, and some contracts. Our R&D head is actually out of contract. Now, I would equip the one with the higher tech level, but I'm actually going to dismantle them, because this is a unique R&D head, and so I can just keep boosting as many times as I like and get his tech level up as high as I like. These ones are glitched, so they get dismantled. Let's boost the R&D head a bit. 416, 423, 430, 437, there we go. When I first got that team member, their tech level was something like 120. And now they're all the way up at 437, and we will keep boosting when we need to as well. But for now, that's gonna wrap up the stream, because we have been going for nearly 2 hours. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time. Ta-ra for now.